This is the book, The Power of Relaxation, and it's not just you can say that we usually buy books. You look through it maybe once or twice, you never look it back again. Maybe you find it now, you look back in. But if you look at this one and you read one time, you practice it, you go back again, read again, you find completely different meaning of the same practice. The more you practice, the more understanding will grow into it. You have approximately 28 relaxation meditation practices aligned with breathing techniques as well. And people say like, okay, I go and relax, I watch TV, or maybe I can watch play nice music, listen to it. It's great to do it, but until something shifts inside the body, this all external effect doesn't have lasting effect. So it changes a really internal perspective of your way you think, the way the energy works in the body. It's all about the energy you live on, the prana, the breath. You can think about a head. Okay, I clear my head. I can maybe visualize about a. You can see like a lot of nice pictures majority of time. But this one have nice pictures as well. But if you practice a visualization, I can think about the seaside or the nice atmosphere. It will just only have a little effect on me while I'm dreaming about or visualizing. When I come back to the reality, what exactly I'm doing at the time, it doesn't have that much effect on you because you are somewhere like you created two parallel reality in your existence, or you can say split personality of your mind, which it doesn't relate to you in your day-to-day life, but only relate to you when you're meditating. It makes sense? Like the majority of the time I find that people say, okay, I meditate, I feel very peaceful. When I finish, I don't feel, I just like the ordinary normal person. That's how what is supposed to be. But effect of the meditation does not carry on in your day-to-day living life because you are not able to brought that experience into the mindfulness of everyday life. But what can happen? We require a physical body. Mind is important, great. Visualization is important, great. Until you put that into physical engagement of the body, you cannot. Until you experience the physically, you doesn't know is real or not real. And I am a very practical person, in my view. I like a lot of theories and a lot of visualization or imaginations. There's nothing wrong with them. But if it's my daily life is very harsh, very hectic, or not practical enough, but in my head I imagine it. It's very practical and it's smooth. It's not gonna happen. I can imagine every day that one day I will grow a unicorn here, and I visualize every day. I promise you, it's never gonna happen. But I can find some different ways to do it. Because I want to be peaceful. I want to connect it to my inner self or to the outer self. I connect myself the more deeper I go inside me, my much better I'm connected with outside. It makes sense? This is actually the book about self-love affair. We talk about love affairs. You love somebody? You love somebody, at least. Everything goes away from you. Okay, for example, you have a parent, you love parents. They certain level, either they or stay away from you or you move away from them, or you have either lover or you have children, they grow away, they go away from you. This distance comes along always. There's always either patchy relationship with anything external other than you. If you have anything outside your body, there's always either ups and downs in a relationship. But there's somebody is always with you who loves you dearly than anything else. Is a breath. Your breath, always there. The day you were born, till we depart from this body, it's always there. We did never actually create a healthy relationship with the breath. I call it create a love affair with the breath. You look at it completely such a way that is your best lover you could ever have. If you can feel love to your breath, you can love everybody. But we don't love our breath. We like if you tell somebody to inhale, they go. They literally fight for the breath like they're gonna suck the whole breath out of the universe because actually it's all mine. We share the breath. We breathe, I breathe, you breathe, I breathe, you breathe, I breathe. Everybody breathes. I haven't seen anybody who doesn't breathe. We are all connected. That's how we can say, okay, God lives in everybody. We are all same. We are all same because you depend on the same energy forces I depend on. You live on the same breath, his breath, my breath, your breath, my breath. They are all connected. No? So we are all connected. Prana is all connected. God is one, space is one, breath is one. There's no difference to it. But we don't we like to say, okay, my ideology of the relaxation is different. My ideology or my vision of the what spirituality is or the self-awareness is different. But in reality, it's actually only one. Everything depends on the breath. Our life depends on the breath. So why don't we utilize there's something fundamentally there day in, day out, every day, all the time with us. We should utilize that to create a healthy relationship with ourselves. Point one. Point two is you can use the breath anytime. Doesn't require any equipment. Like I say, I get you the meditation kit. I got 5 different objects in it. You have to buy this and this and this. But the breath, you didn't need anything else. Just need a breath in you. They're both always with you. You can do it anywhere, anytime. In practice perspective. There's approximate chakra meditations to the in the book itself inside, and to the primordial sound and the science of relaxation practice, and a lot of other visualizing practice, which only relate itself inside the body. The moment your mind goes somewhere outside the body, it have created the expectation. The important part, mind create expectation all the time. If you're outside the body, there's expectation. Either you have read something about it, or you would like to experience something. Make sense? The only way the visualization happen or the imagination happen, you have read about it, or you would like to experience something in the future, or you have tasted already. So they both are either you try to co-create the past already have you experience, or you just living off in the somewhere maybe 20 years, 30 years in the future. There's possibility of it, but you cannot do it by living in the future. You have to live here at present. First point, create a good relationship with the breath. Expect nothing while you're doing it. Point three, relaxation is not like something. I was talking to my friend one time in class. They said that I watch TV. I sit down. I wasted my half an hour sitting meditation class with you. I feel nothing happens to me. But when I watch TV, have a glass of wine, I feel very relaxed. I said, how do you feel next morning? I have a little bit of headache, but it wasn't relaxing. So meditation is about sometimes self-acceptance as well. We cannot change everything. All we can do, we create a healthy relationship with ourselves. Can you still hear it? It's great. So when you practice from the book or from not from the book, whatever you practice, I know I support to sell my book as well. So if you like to relax, really like to relax, or really like to feel the relaxation, it's not about you have the idea of the relaxation or what you experience through the body. So I say the body is important for meditation. Body is important for relaxation. Don't think there is anything other than your body exists. Your mind exists because your body exists. Your spirit, your soul exists because your body exists. For you, they will still exist when your body departs too. But as the tangible perspective, as the being, what you experience, what you hear, what you see, what you feel, what you touch, what you smell, they are all tangible objects. They are tangible matter. And your mind only can relate to a tangible matter. Make sense? So, how can we go into deeper relaxation? You bring all those 5 elementary perspective to the one point and experience them to the one sense. Our ears, hears it, but also have 4 different substances to it as well. You can feel the heat through the ear as well, which is a fire element in the body, but the sound is only hearing. But one is a very, very primary, 4 is a bit more less. They all have contents of it. So you have a lot of information all about your body, how it's made of the 5 elements, how you can utilize the breath perspective of it, how you can maximize your chakra balancing yourself in the book. It's very simplest method as possible. The sound, universe always making sound. As we know, Om is all makes the sounds. So there's many sounds that universe creates according to the geographical, also the star perspective of it at the time. Based on that, the time you were born, it also creates the frequency of your body, your electromagnetic field. So whatever resonates with you, with the sound of universe at the same time you were born, that is the primordial sound. So Om is the main primordial sound. Everything breaks down out of it. It's all about frequency, the vibration. So what is the memory and how can you relax? You can relax our muscles or a neuromuscular system or the prana is the DNA or the memory of the blood cell, you can say. Memory of the blood cell, until you are able to change that or replace with healthy prana, will always remain there. Make sense? You have either muscle that is memory is old, dense. You move it away to a healthy environment where the prana is healthy. The same blood cells or the muscle cells was not functioning in the body. The moment you move them away into a healthy environment, which is a much more positive environment, immediately they start functioning well because the prana was changed for it. Similarly, with the body, how can you relax? Better the moment you replace the memory of the old blood cells, you feel a lot more relaxed. For example, you go for a very good hike. Hiking sometime, what happened? You get top of the mountain, feel so relaxed, you feel really refreshed, you feel really revived. Why? Because you have intaken a lot more oxygen in the body. The quality of the prana level up there is a lot more healthier. So everything depends on the prana. So the whole practice is depend on the prana practices of the breath. How to utilize the breath to maximize your ability to relax your mind. So when you relax, for example, something in 24 hours you don't work, you do something like 8 hours for work. Out of 8 hours, probably maybe 2 hours procrastinate about something to do it in 24 hours. We spend a lot of time procrastinating. Sometimes we spend a lot of time thinking about should I do it, not do it. If we do it, mind is not focused. We got like the 4, 5 things going same time. Try to okay, I want to go first, and I want to go first. Every thought pushing each other. There's race inside the head. So whichever goes first, you just do it. But you're supposed to do completely different. So what this when you're totally relaxed, what you get ability is ability to make a decision. The what we call coherence of the brain, where your creative side and decisive of mind, that when both align together, you have a less waste of time. Second, you have a lot more productivity. You will be not procrastinating. What something requires you to do 2 hours, which you can actually minimize to do it hour and a half because you are focused. Your coherence of the brain is already happened. Left and right are both aligned together. If the coherence of the brain is not there, you will spend should I do it or start thinking about it or maybe cannot make decisions of it. You right enough cannot make decisions. That's where they call it sometimes somebody very intelligent, very creative, but cannot do anything. They have everything, a lot of ideas, a lot of creativity, but cannot decide to do it. Or sometimes all the thought going around it, but have no ability to create anything because one side, left side, or right side of the brain. Until they both align together, then when they both align together, your central nervous system gets activated. When that gets activated, you connect with the nervous system, your whole body depends on the spine. Your head connected to the spine is very interrelated energetically. Your head and your spine and your physical appearance. So meditation really can change a lot of things. If you can just develop a ability to create a healthy relationship with your breath. The breath can change a lot of things. You breathe properly. It's the simplest way you sit down quietly. And maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes in your own time. You watch the breath in your nostrils. The touch of the breath maybe it becomes so sensitive, like you do not want to miss any moment of it. Like you can feel the touch of the breath on the nostril, you can hear the sound of the breath, you can feel the temperature of it, you can feel the smell of the breath. When you reach to that level of the maximum attention, you can find the way in and out breath, but don't judge it. So how can I improve it? That have to go out the window. Don't try to breathe. Your body is automatically breathing. When you're sleeping, do you think about breath? Not really. Your body automatically breathes. But when you're awake, you're grasping the breath in and out. You're forcing yourself to breathe. That actually keeps you half breathing, shallow breath, which doesn't require but doesn't give you a maximum ability for decarbonize the body or oxygenate the body. Stress level rises up, the muscles get clogged up. A lot of things happen because of breath. So the best thing I can do or can advise is create a loving, kind, healthy relationship. They say with yourself, I will say it with your breath. Yourself depends on the breath. You cannot exist without the breath. Can you exist without the breath? No. Can you exist, my friend? No. So when somebody said, "Oh, create a good relationship with yourself," they literally mean create a good relationship with your breath. If you can create a good, loving, kind, compassionate relationship to your breath, you can feel good relationship with yourself. If you can love somebody or something that gives you a life, you can love somebody else. If you say, "Oh, I give a lot of love," but you have no relationship with the breath, I don't think you can love anybody because you are not kind to that gives you a breath, that gives you life. Breath gives you life. You are not kind to the breath, yet you're chasing your kindness. How is that possible? It's impossible. Create a good relationship with the breath. Simplest message. The whole techniques in this book it teaches you how you can relax the breath, how you can maximize your breathing capacity. That depends. That allows your mind, your nervous system, and your central nervous system to relax. So, a lot of techniques in the scientific approaches as well, in the holistic approach as well, and daily basic you can utilize it in day-to-day practice. It's simple, easy to use. You practice meditation, yoga, go for running as well. Is anybody go for running? Next time, what you can do, get a masking tape. Get a masking tape, tape your mouth, and go for running. You might don't run too fast. Slowly build up the speed. Just close your mouth and run. If you breathe through your nasal passages, that affects your brain. Also, your hypothalamus gland in the middle, center of the brain, that is responsible to distributing the equal amount of energy to every sense in the body. So, try. If you're gonna running, you can make it running into meditation, but not to the mouth. Never happen because your breath gets very shallow. And try it if you can. So, if you practice way, if like to know anything about more, you can maybe pick up the book, click through it if you like it. I'm still here. I can always help you. And I highly recommend because I wrote it, but I highly recommend because it's very useful. It's a lot of useful tools. You can keep it in the book in your even a little bag. Even sitting in the wherever if you travel, you read it through it, memorize it, you try to practice it. It's very easily to follow practices. Please do. Okay. Relaxation is an outcome of meditation. Make sense? It's a side effect of meditation. Meditation is you. People say, I want to feel peace. or I would like to feel calm, or I like to have no mind, or I like to have very quiet mind. They are just a side effect. They are a byproduct of meditation. The closer you go to yourself, all those things comes around. Like for example, you're going for a treasure discovery. Treasure is you, mind is here. On the way to the treasure, the peace is one side, quietness is one side, relaxation is one side. They're all sitting by side because there's journey home. You always feel distracted. You go for traveling. Mind go traveling away from your own house, somewhere else. You feel all those things. You might feel rough traffic, maybe a rough ride in the plane, rough ride in the train, or maybe even tracking. Anything can be possible because you are not at your home. Make sense? When you're coming home, you feel a lot more lighter. By the time you reach home, you feel much more comfortable with yourself. You feel much more easier, peaceful. That's meditation is. Meditation is being with yourself. Meditation is you. Meditation is just a process to go home. You can make anything in that process. If you know what meditation look like, what meditation feels like, you can make anything into that experience. It's not about the only one technique. Any technique and every technique can take you to your home. Only you just need to know your address and who are you. What you look like when you get home, you don't even know who am I. So all perspective is to understand who we are, the nature of ourselves, and the address of yourself. Make sense? Thing?
So maybe it's one meditation and different practices.
Yeah. So to get to your house, there must be not just only one road. There must be many roads to get there. There are many ways to get inside, but there's only one entrance. You hold the key. Your mind holds the key to get inside. It makes sense? So when we talk about mindfulness is just a process. There's like the three things. There's a subject, and the object, and the process. Make sense? But subject is you, process your mind is doing or whatever is doing. Object is the place somewhere away from you is doing it. So that is when you align three together, that's the mindfulness. When the process object disappear, process collapse back into the subject, you are conscious that you were doing that process, but you are not doing it anymore. That it becomes a meditation. Make sense? Experience of the process and object have collapsed back inside you, becomes a meditation. As long as you're doing it, is a mindfulness. And relaxation always happens. If you are together with yourself, even your whole exchange of information from inside the body and outside, it depends on the senses. You receive information through your eyes, you give information through your eyes. You hear information through your ears, you give information through your ears. Your skin as well, mouth, all five senses gives the information and receives the information or creates the possibility for information. If you can become aware of them, if you can become mindful of them, it's easy. Because anything that is happening from your deep inside core is coming through the senses. They are your gateway, your door and windows to the house. All you have to do, make sure that you make your mind just follow the track. Don't lose the track of it. Does it make sense? No? A little bit? So, meditation is very subtle. Relaxation, meditation only possible when you totally relax with yourself. I would like to meditate 2 hours, 3 hours, but if I'm not relaxed and accepting the situation I am, if I'm not comfortable, if I'm not relaxed about it, I cannot meditate. To create the relaxed senses to go into meditation. I grew up in North India. I asked my parents how old I am. They described the weather. They said, my mother said there was a sunshine that day. There was rain early morning. That we don't have a such called birth certificates. So if I calculate my parents' age, so that makes me about 40, between 44, 45 years old at present today. Hopefully, maybe to reach time my birthday possibly. And my grandfather was my main teacher. He spent it after my grandmother passed away. He spent almost 6 to 7 months up in the Himalayas, spending practicing. He only came down to the plains of the North India because it get too cold up in the Himalayas, really icy. So he came down from up in the mountains. While he was there, he teach me a practice. I got introduced into the meditation and yoga. I remember a very early age of my life. I had to watch him, very small. I was only just allowed to go outside the home. In the village, we had like 400, 500 people. Everybody knew each other to look after it. So there was no threat to it. So very early age, you just go outside. Everybody look after you. So very early age, I introduced him to the practice. There was another Bengali person from Kriya Yoga practices, Namasta Baba. He was also the good friend of my teacher, my grandfather. Later on, he became my teacher as well. And I did not go to a school until quite old. I was the oldest person in the school, primary school. In class one, I was the same age as in class four, five people. So I was more interested in what happened in class five because I was home taught, home school. I grew up, but meditation and yoga that was part of my life every day. So I go to my teacher, to my grandfather. He speaks, and he never told me answers for it. If you ask me, okay, you meditate this, what you have to do, and that will be the outcome. Make sense? That this is the question, that will be the process, that will be the outcome. They have taken every joy out of my life because I got nothing to do. I already know what's gonna be happening. So I go and sit down. I already projected the outcome of it. So my teaching skill was very different. My grandfather never gave me an answer for it. He never showed me the way, but never told me the outcome of it. So he gave me the practice, the way to practice, but doesn't tell me the what you will be feeling in the end. So there was no result. I have to create my own answer and pass it to him. If he is happy or satisfied that yes, I have got it, he will give me a next step to practice. That was almost like a Gurukul style of education. That was a very classical Indian way of schooling. Then I left my village when I was 14, probably just after my primary school. I left the village. I lived in the town, but I go back to the village. I went to university, but meditation and yoga was carried out. My hardest time of my life was 3 months when my grandfather caught me smoking a cigarette. Somebody told him I only smoked one cigarette in my life. It was only influenced by one of the guy, and he punished me for 3 months. No school, no like a study. I go back every week. Said to me, you make decision. You choose what you like. You like to study health, or you like to go a different path. You enjoy that. Very satisfied. Come back. Or I like my health a lot more than anything else. Nothing matters. So I came back to my practices. And, been in 2001, I met somebody from Peak District. There was a guy who lived in Australia. He born in London, but he grew up in Australia. He came to one-way ticket to India. I was dropping my friend off to the uh, Brisbane in Australia. He arrived there. He said, I don't know where to go. He was looking around. I said, come with me. I take you. We went together to Brunei in the North India. He stayed there. He said, our doctor have given me a arthritis. Tell me 3 more years, you can do whatever you like. You will be in a wheelchair. But I said, it's not possible. You are young, you fit. So, but he was kickboxing a lot of sports in his life. Today, he still walks. It's been from 2001 talking about. When he was only at 3 years, certified by doctors in Australia. 3 more years you will be walking, otherwise you will be wheelchair. He still walks. He practices yoga. He practices meditation. Got better. He still feels sometimes pain, but not completely. But he's not in a wheelchair. Then I had a couple of other people from Israel. I was not teaching before. I was only teaching the Indian people, Indian community, and also the basically my own practice was more important to me. I was never taught to. I was never trained to teach. I was trained to experience. I was trained to develop my own awareness of the practices. But call it like a passing the information from a generation after generation, like the become a family wealth or family asset for you. When my grandfather found out I was teaching, he was very disappointed. He said, "I hope you're doing something better with it because you were never trained to teach. It's something is a very people make not a healthy practice out of life. Everybody makes business out of it." I say I will not do anything like that. If I do, I will go back to the society and community. So that's I end up 2004. I came to Peak District first time, and his uncle lives in Peak District. I arrived there. I was so cold and freezing. I don't really like England at the time. I was here 6 months. I lived in Liverpool and Coventry, in Manchester, and Peak District, Buxton. I traveled around. It was really cold. I don't like it. I went back and I told my teacher, I don't want to go. It's very different place. I'm really, really enlightened. And I want to go back up in the Himalayas, mountain. And please, can you initiate me? He said to me, no, you're very arrogant. My teacher told me, you're very arrogant. You think you are great. There's every culture, every country, every civilization you can learn from. Yet you know that it was taken by other teacher, my Vrindavan. He said you can learn from everybody, from everything. You think you know everything? That's the biggest thing you can make mistake of. I taught you because you were interested to develop your awareness, not to become any other person who's like a lot of people are big names. I don't want to say anything, but you can be one of them. You can make a success, no problem. But that will not be the real experience. You say you are detached, but you got nothing to attach to. How can you say you are detached? You create yourself possibility that there is a where you can be attached to, then you can say I'm detached from it. So we go back to the West and learn. I was laughing myself. Majority of people you hear of, they say that people go to West to teach. East. I said you must be joking. I go to West to learn. He said, yes, you go on West to learn. I stopped. My practices are over. I have to go and learn. I came here and I learned I can say some things I can never learn in India. I learned here. I've been here since 2004. Went back, came back 2005. I had nothing at the time. He said, you need money. My people quite queue for a visa. I was given a visa in 3 weeks time. No problem with it. I had no money for my ticket. There was a guy who had some money at the time. He said, okay, I got exact same amount of money for ticket. I came one-way ticket. I thought. And I found myself exactly the same he was talking about attachment. I claim that I'm really evolved in Latin, I'm totally detached. But I was one day chasing some idea what the outcome I was going to get. And I flipped over, I hurt my hand, split apart, bleeding, but still running. I was not running because I was going to help somebody. I was running because of what I'm going to get in the return. I got to the train, and for a moment, my teacher came out same time. Go to the West and learn. I was bursting into laughter. The attachment, what you are chasing. Even something happened to you, you don't give up. You carry on going. You never look back. Stop for a moment. What exactly you're doing? So I called him. I said, okay, I understand your perspective. He said, let me come back. I said, it makes no difference what place it is. Place and place. What change inside you, you can change it for forever. You can change the place 100 times. If you don't change yourself, nothing will change. Then meditation become a challenge for me. I cannot meditate away from my little altar, little cushion, and a little like the lamp or my teacher's picture. Instead, you become attached to meditate with your little settings. You should have ability to meditate everywhere, anywhere. At the time, I was teaching in my MCA for lunchtime free classes not far away from here, Greater Salt Street, every Thursday afternoon. So I found a good spot. I didn't know much about London at the time. Oxford Street quite busy at the time. I had to go different places, not to make a bigger show about it. Stand in the corner and meditate. Then make it like a sit down cross leg, make it look like a big display of it. But one day I found there was no noise. I could not hear anybody despite there was a lot of noise. Because I was able to tune my inner noise. And doesn't matter after that, I have not set it on my altar. I didn't require a special cushion or my special incense or a stick to meditate. It's very different. Yes, everything does help in a way on the process. If you have a significant, your mind like to relate. You got a relationship with it, immediately go there, mind, okay, this is the time for me to meditate. But that doesn't give you meditation. It can influence you, it can set the foundation for you to meditate, but it doesn't. You still have to do it. And if the settings are the same, your mind will come along after some time, literally project you back what you already have tasted before. Majority of the time I have heard there's an experience is the same every time. I say, how can be the experience the same? If you believe that you are evolving, if we believe we are evolving day in, day out, you are a day older, your consciousness have grown one day further into the life, you got one day of extra experience, your mind have also become much more one day enlightened as well. How could you have the same experience? Maybe you try to create the same experience, maybe you're not happy with the same experience. So being available is important. You can meditate, but if you are not available, you are available in the past, not gonna happen. So how aligned you are, your present availability, how attentive you are, I call it 5 A's. Attentive, alert, aware, available, and aligned. You have to be aligned with yourself. You have to be available to yourself. You have to be alert of yourself. You have to be ability to attend yourself. And you have to be available as well. So create as much as possible. And again, everything comes back to you. If you can change the way you think, you can change everything around you. If you can change the way you perceive, everything changes around you. Every relationship, every person, every object you look at, every relationship with the object also changes. Something, if your thinking have changed, your awareness have changed, how you relate to it also depend on your perception. It also depend your inner consciousness, how you have evolved, how you have shifted your thinking. People say mind is the problem. I say mind is very happy and healthy. If you have one, if you don't have a mind, then is a problem. Majority of time we don't have mind. We borrow from everybody else. Okay, can I have 5% of your mind? Can I have 10% of your mind? We make 100% borrowed from everybody else's ideas. We got none of our own ideas. If you make your mind yours, I promise you, mind is the most healthiest thing you can ever have.